his punches. He's probably best described as a brawler. Do you think the first round is his most dangerous one?
Look, I think in his last match, he came back in the third round and knocked his opponent out. So, you know, I'm going to keep my hands up and be ready for 15 minutes.
Thanks for your time. No problem. Thanks, Ed. All set.
A little scouting report there.
Yeah.
Well, I know obviously what a sports guy you are. You follow sports stories, not just fighting. Is this the classic, they're bringing in the guy to the other guy's country, like you're just the opponent to get beat?
That's what they're trying to do, obviously. But I'm all right with that role because, you know, every once in a while there's someone who spoils the party, and that's going to be me.
When they approached you with the fight, was that your initial thing? Like, oh, come on, there's no respect here.
No, it was actually, I get a trip to Australia and I get to fight a guy that I've been watching fight for a long time. I was like, heck yeah, give me that fight. You know, I actually like the matchup stylistically. Obviously, it's sort of the brawler striker. That's me, right? Versus a guy who's a very accomplished grappler. And people seem to forget that, you know, I've been training for my entire career with Jeremy Horn. So I actually hope I get to show a little bit of my ground in this. It's just a lot more fun for me and a lot more fun for the fans if it ends up being a striking battle. And at some point, you know, every round starts that way on the feet. So I'm prepared for every aspect of this fight, but, you know, I like watching Parash fight, and I'm excited to be the guy that they brought in.
What's it like to walk up on the stage and hear him, you know, saying all that stuff?
You know, it is what it is. Anthony's obviously a veteran in the sport, and there's no real secrets anymore in the game with all the film that's out there on guys. So I'm sure that he's got a game plan, and he is a very well-rounded fighter. We talk about him being a grappler and a pure grappler. Well, he's not. He's knocked out a bunch of guys, and he finishes fights. That's one of the most interesting things about him, is that he does not win by decision. So it's another reason this should be a fun fight.
How do you rate him? I mean, some people point to his age, obviously, and they point to some inconsistencies. You know, he'll have a great performance, and then he'll get knocked out. You know, so how do you rate him as a fighter?
I mean, he's 42. I think his birthday is the day of the fight, right?
It's actually not. We had to clarify that. It was
Okay.
listed on. It's in October, but everybody thinks it's May 10th.
All right. Well, I'm glad I didn't bring him a cake or anything. Then, no. I mean, he's 42, 43 years old and still competing at the highest level of the sport. For anyone to disrespect him for that, or to underestimate him for that, is counterintuitive to me, because he has every excuse to be out, to be done, to be a guy who's, you know, talking about it to the people at his gym, but he's still competing and still doing so at a very high level. And I think he's like 6-2 in this most recent run in the UFC, which in the light heavyweight division is not an easy thing. So yeah, I'm nothing but respect for what he's accomplished so far. That being said, you leave all that at the door and you go in and you fight like you would anybody else.